morning, everybody. We are back. It is the right side of campus. We are live Thursday, April 19th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, ready to roll here on a Thursday, getting you ready for NBA playoffs, NBA playoffs, MLB, all sorts of fun stuff along the way. Donnie Rightside, welcome in, my co-host. How you doing today?
Doing good. Hey, schedule release day in the NFL. We'll get to that a little bit later here in the show, but a lot of good topics to go over, Jeff. As you know, we'll talk some interesting issues and a nice off-topic subject to bring you right into the city of Philadelphia and how some sort of, off-the-book laws, so to speak, go down in certain restaurants. I was a restaurant owner for a couple years, and we'll go over some things that happened in that Starbucks situation. But that's for later time, Jeff. A lot of stuff going down in sports today. NBA action last night, NHL action last night. Our Sixers get back underway, trying to get a 2-1 lead down there in South Florida. A lot to talk about, Jeff. I'm excited for the show.
Yeah, I am. I am as well. I'm pretty well rested, Donnie. I'm feeling pretty good. Let's
Hey.
jump into it here. Obviously, do ourselves a big favor and hit the like button. It is a great way to grow the show and for the analytics team to see uh, who's liking it. Everyone like it. Everyone in here. I'm going to remind you at all times, hit the like button. Make sure you're doing that. And also make sure you're retweeting the show if you have the ability to do so. It's a great way to grow it, to maybe show people that don't see it on a regular basis. All sorts of great ways to grow it. To make sure you're doing that. And also check out all the great content at SBR Picks. SBR Picks, a wide potpourri of sports betting goodness. There's plenty of great articles, contests, odds. Obviously, make sure you're using SBR Odds, one of the great odds services in the game. One of the odd services that I use. The only odd service that I use. You got Spurs previews. You got NFL schedule stuff coming out, which, Donnie, you and I will be doing a show tomorrow about the
Yeah.
NFL schedule. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, Donnie, the show must go on. Let's get in to the show here today. Welcome in to everyone out there that is currently listening. Greg, Chris, Eric, Ryan, Matt, Kyle, Steve. Who else do we got here? Mark, Brian Seymour. Brian Seymour says we need a love button. Agreed.
Yes.
Good point. Donnie, Jose Bautista, which I
Yeah.
got to be honest, I never knew he left the Blue Jays, frankly. I've just kind of forgotten about Jose Bautista. But I've noticed that, Donnie, what a fall from grace for Jose Bautista. Bautista is now a minor league deal, got a minor league deal for the Braves.
Yeah.
What a fall from grace. I mean, I remember he kept, I don't know, 2, 3 years ago, this guy was one of the better sluggers in the game. You just kind of forgot that he existed. And now you see him pop up in Atlanta as a minor league player. I mean, this is a guy that, throughout the latest couple of years, I mean, he had 40 home runs, Donnie, in 2015, 114 RBIs. He tailed off a bit last year, but still, played pretty well. The problem last year was it was a really bad season for him. He only hit 203. He only had 23 home runs, but still, I mean, Donnie, there's about 300 baseball players that I would take below Bautista. Amazing that and again, I know he had some contract problems and off the field. He was kind of a dick at times, but why such a fall from grace for Bautista? I totally forgot about him.
No, you're right about it. When you look at Jose Bautista, it's interesting as the whole. I would say, we saw a lot of this, Jeff, in the late '90s and early 2000s, right? Brady Anderson is always my favorite guy in Baltimore. A leadoff hitter, punch and Judy, spray the ball around, hits 50 bombs the very next year. If we look at Jose Bautista's career, Jeff, started in 2004. His first 2 seasons, I don't even think he had a home run in Major League Baseball. He averaged over his first 6 seasons in Major League Baseball, Jeff, 9.8 home runs a year. And out of nowhere, wow, he found the swing, 54 bombs. I mean, you want to talk about staying ahead of the curve? Good for him, because it's the same A-Rod thing we talk about all the time, Jeff. Look where A-Rod is today. He banked $300 million in contract money, probably another $100 million in endorsements. He's sitting on ESPN today. Will he not get in the Hall of Fame? Probably not because of steroid use. But ask yourself this, Jeff. If Jose Bautista, I mean, he never tested for anything. There's a lot of guys who we suspected did steroids and didn't test for anything, or maybe they were ahead of the curve. Ask yourself this question, Jeff. If you're Jose Bautista, you banked over probably $150 million in your career. Now you're trying to come back and maybe squeeze that last bit of juice out of the lemon in this one. But if you would have said to me early on, or growing up or playing football or baseball, Donnie, if you take steroids right now, you're going to make $200 million. You'll go through a little disgrace period, but you can sit back on your island with $200 million in the bank, and your only downfall, Jeff's going to be you're not going to get arrested. You just can't be elected into the Hall of Fame. What's your choice on that, Jeff? Because if it's me, I'll take the disgrace and the $200 million over playing 3 years and getting dropped out of the league because I wasn't ahead of the curve.
No, I don't think anyone would disagree. But I mean, Donnie, my issue with this is like you're telling me like he's not better than Randall Grichuk? I mean, oh,
Yeah,
come
it's
on.
weird. No, you're right. Yeah, you're
I
right.
mean,
It's I know he hit two, but there's a premium in baseball now. It doesn't seem like it's almost like Jeff. They don't back in the day, Moneyball, early days on the Red Sox. We care more about if you draw walks and get on base. Now it's like, bro, I don't care if you strike out 17 times over the next 4 games. Just hit me 2 solo home runs. Can he do that for you? Can he go down to Atlanta? If he played every day in right field for the Braves, let's just say he hit 203, he probably would hit 35 home runs. That's not even worth a look in Major League Baseball right now. So something's got to be up because his career did decline there. And Jeff, in baseball circles, GMs, ownership, players, management, they all talk. There's a reason why Jose Bautista, who was asking for like 20 million and didn't even get $1 million contract, right?
well, just so everyone knows, also Randall Grichuk 3 for 43 this year, hitting .70 in April. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, it's interesting that he kind of just what a fall from grace. I kind of forgot
Yeah.
about it. I actually had to do a double take, and I read it on like that bottom line on ESPN, and I'm like, is that another Jose Bautista? That can't be him. I mean, I was thinking like, but again, is there another Jose Bautista? And I really kind of missed the Jose. It just said Bautista, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
who's the only Bautista I know? And I'm just like, wow, what a fall from grace. But we move on here, Donnie. This story kind of pisses me off in a way. I mean, what a complete waste of resources. I mean, the cops, Tallahassee Police Department, is under a bit of a fire today, Donnie, after they spent, according to a report by the Orlando Sentinel, good reporting here, the last 2 months, Donnie. Okay, now we're not talking about a school shooter. We're not talking about a possible terrorist. We're not talking about a serial killer or a high level drug kingpin. We spent 2 months in Tallahassee, Florida, surveilling DeAndre Francois. Yes, you're right. DeAndre Francois, the quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles, after a tipster went to police with their theory in February that Francois was a high level drug dealer. 2 months, Donnie, they surveilled Francois, and guess what they found? A very
Weed.
small amount, a very small amount of marijuana, none more than you would have for your own consumption. Him and his girlfriend were caught with a measly 17 grams, or just over half an ounce, which I guess, I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not good with like numbers. Actually, I am, and 17 grams is a complete joke. I mean, it's a pittance of amount. That's amount that you would have in your glove compartment, for God's sakes. Pathetic. What a waste. This is what's so annoying about this case is when Jameis Winston was there, he pervade negativity. There's always stuff around him. He was never blamed for anything. He was doing stuff and no one really did anything about it. Now we're going overboard and sitting out for 2 weeks. I mean, this is even these police department officials were actually looking through his trash. I mean, what is this? And we again just go off the tip of some guy that maybe got in a fight with him or something, didn't like him. What a waste of resources here, Donnie. And at the end of the day, they find absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting situation, but then again, it's kind of fun. Like I always like to joke about stuff that goes down in Tallahassee because way back in the day, Bobby Bowden was there, and no matter what you did, running a little stairs after practice, always, or suspended them against Samford University to open the season. That was usually what they did. But hey, Jeff, times are changing in Tallahassee right now because Jameis Winston was under fire for a multitude of things and always got away with it. You know what the best tonic for being in trouble is? Be a Heisman Trophy type player and lead your team to a national championship. You can get away with just about anything. Now the tide shifted. Florida State not so good. DeAndre Francois hurt. Will he even come back to the football team? So I guess there's no more protection down in Florida State for a guy that might not be your starting quarterback from here on out. But it is kind of interesting. You never know what these guys get leveled up as or, whose directive it is or there's a high. I mean, I doubt that he's a quarterback at Florida State and a high-level weed dealer on campus. It doesn't make that much sense. So it might have been a vendetta out there against him, or, hey, look at everything that's going around in all these other schools right now with the sports programs. Let's make sure we have an eye on our teams just to make sure nobody's doing wrong. And if somebody's, smoking a little weed, make sure you suspend them so we can put it out there and be like, look, hey, we're not letting our kids run wild here on campus. Look, we got the quarterback for weed. Now leave us alone or give us leniency down the pike. It's a lot made to do about nothing. It's just that it's Florida State, a major university, was the starting quarterback. It's an interesting topic in the offseason, but overall, I'm not even so sure DeAndre Francois is going to be their quarterback moving forward. So I don't know how much of a penalty it is against Florida State.
Here's my issue, though, with him in this situation. I read a pretty pathetic quote from him after this. This is from Francois directly. It wasn't mine. I can't smoke right now. It belongs to her, his girlfriend. Come on, man. I mean, 17 grand.
Just own it. Yeah, yes, you're right. Dude, you're so right on that. I forgot about that point of the story. Yeah, but why would, and all right, let's just say, Jeff, that's your girl. You guys are close. And let's just say you are Jameis Winston, right? You're about to go to the league and make $30 million in your rookie contract because you're going to go number 1, 2, or 3 in the draft. And your girl is a ride or die girl, like Jeff that we talk about. Babe, take this rap. I'll pay all the fines. They're not going to do it. You're going to get 2 years of community service, but we're a team in this. If I get this, I lose millions of dollars and our future's kind of ruined in this situation. Stick by me, take the fall, and I got you when you get out. We'll be, every Rick Ross video you see, right? The girl's going to take the fall. Rick Ross always sitting back in the cut and the sports coupe, shaking his head yep, that's my girl right there. She's going to take it up for us. Why wouldn't you not do that? But again, Jeff, DeAndre's not going anywhere at this point. Babe, take the fall for this. If I'm the girl, I'm like, no,
Well, again, we don't know their relationship. They could listen. If you have a girl like that, a lot of the time she will be like, "Look, just tell him it's mine. I don't care. Nothing's gonna happen to me." It's such a small amount anyway. But again, a weak move by Francois. I mean, you read the story and you're kind of like, "This is a joke," and then, and again, this just continues to go to the inadequate resources and fraudulent just waste of time that these cops commit. Yet, again, we look at someone in the media that is black that is continued to be targeted for absolutely nothing. If this is a frat, do you think they give a flying fuck, Donnie? I'm sure the frat house has way more weed in their possession than this guy. It's just a pathetic waste. There's no business doing this.
He's got to be waste. And also, Jeff, how about this? Usually we live by the code, deny till death. If you're a guy, if your girl says you cheated on her, as long as there's no physical evidence, you can just say no, 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 no. Why would you say to the police too? It's that's not mine. I didn't smoke since December of 2017. What are you, an idiot? Yay, I think you committed this murder. Dude, I didn't kill anybody since October. Leave me alone, man. Come on, DeAndre. He must not be that smart. Yeah, come on.
But if you live in Tallahassee, are you thinking to yourself, wow, why are the cops actually just, again, I'm
they used to have their back down there. You're right. They did used to have their back down there. I'm not going to lie.
But now it's just they're getting them on everything. It's oh, we're going to make sure we're doing our job down here by, getting our quotas here. According to the witness, Donnie, the tipster said that he told the police he saw a large paper grocery bag full of cannabis, estimated at about 2 pounds, present during a drug-related crime. Well, that didn't happen.
And we sure it was his? Maybe he went to his boy's house somewhere and they had it and he was just playing video game. You never know the circumstances. But just, if it wasn't at Florida State, if this was at Morehead State, or I don't even know if Morehead State has football actually, but, or Grand Valley State, I don't think we'd be hearing too much about this.
Yeah. Again, it just goes back to the whole thing of if you're a snitch, you're a complete disgrace to your fellow human beings. Get a fucking life. Go do something positive. Stop snitching on people. This is what happens when people snitch on people. Nothing good. Negativity.
And you make
ruin
stuff
kids'
up.
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a video yesterday, Donnie, on YouTube. It was going pretty viral about this. These kids were I guess fixing their car or something on the middle of the road. And some fucking, neighborhood town watch guy comes out and starts, bothering them. I'm going to call the cops. I smell ganja, he says. All this bullshit. It's just dude, get your fucking car and walk the fuck away. And he's just just shit like that. It's just get the hell out of my business. Donnie, I have people knock on my door all the time. They're like, hey, I had this guy the other week knock on my door. I think I might have even told the story on the air. He knocks on my door and goes, hey, sir, hi, we're with the local electric company. Doesn't even tell what the electric company is with. He goes, "Hey, listen, sir, we really need to come into your house." I said, he said, "We got to check the electric meter." I said, "Come on, dude." I said, "I'm not some old woman." I said, "The electric meter's down on the fucking side of the house. Go check it out." He goes, "No, sir, we got to come in. Not going to happen. We got to come in." I said, "Listen, dude, you're not coming in." He goes, "Sir, then the electric's going to get turned off." I said, "Well, listen, dude, go down, cut it off." He goes, "Well, I'm gonna have to call the cops so you don't let me in." I said, "What do you mean you're gonna call the cops?" I said, What do you need to come into my house for?" And he started getting like confrontational. And I'm just like, "Listen," I said to him, "Listen, this might work with the 80-year-old woman down the street, and that's a shame that if it will, but you're not coming in the house." And he's just like, everyone's out to scam, man. Everyone's out to like just bother people, make people's lives like. I'm sure there was some woman that let him in, Donnie. I mean, really. And that's the shame thing about it. But the moral of the story is stay the hell out of other people's business. All right? Do your thing. Leave people alone. All right? Donnie, you still there? I'm hearing stuff in the background. You still
Yes,
there?
yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Maybe somebody's chiming in down there, Jeff. They really like the thought process that you had, and we have coworkers talking about it on the spot. That's what we do, Jeff. We drive thoughts and theories here. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, and I do want to make this clear. I think Johan, your mic was on for a minute there. Donnie, let's move on. Our friend Martin Shkreli in the news again. Martin Shkreli, who we've talked about before. Many people hate Martin Shkreli. They don't like him. Some people have called him the biggest dick in America, and he's done some pretty shitty things in the past, as we know. I mean, he hiked the drug up Darafrim up like 700% and made it almost impossible for people to get it. And he's just a scumbag. He's one of these people that's rich who he just goes out and buys stuff and thinks that he'll get off. And he basically tells the judge to go fuck himself, but he doesn't really say it. But we know it's what he really wants to say. He's just a
And then
scumbag.
when he
Well,
gets in trouble,
recently,
then when actually the hammer drops down on him, he's shedding some tears. Yep.
correct. He was all tough, and then they decide that, hey, listen, we're going to hit you with 7 years, and all of a sudden now he wants to be, tough. This is the same guy, Donnie, that I've seen in videos threatening people with goons behind him, and like this
Hmm.
is a guy that really thinks he's like some kind of mastermind. Well, yesterday he's back in the news because today's the day that he goes to federal prison. Now, his he wanted to go to a low security prison camp. The federal prison system has different systems. Obviously, they're the super max level, but then they have the very low prison camp type places,
Mhm.
Pensacola, all these different places where people like Billy Walters will go, tax people, scam artists, Ponzi schemers, basically, higher end
No
white people.
threat.
That's what.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, correct. No, no, no prison threat. According though to the Federal Bureau of Prisons, they said no. We're not sending you where you want to go. We're putting you where we want you to go. So Donnie, they send him down to Fort Dix. Fort Dix in New Jersey is a pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
tough prison. That's where they send actually connecting to me. That's where they send a lot of the Albanian gangsters. All the Albanian gangsters
Yes.
are down at Fort Dix. Fort Dix is a tough prison. There's mob
Military
guys there.
base. Yep.
Yes, there's drug dealers there, a lot of tough people there. He wanted to originally go to one in Pennsylvania, which isn't far from New York and different areas. Now he heads down to Fort Dix, 3,945 inmates, many of which are violent criminals. The question is, Donnie, will he be put into protective custody or will he be with Gem Pop? I'm going to go ahead and think that
Yeah.
his life
Yeah.
is
I
easy. Then again, though, with money, Donnie, in jail, you get a lot.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, and it's one of those things where, like, sometimes, Jeff, when you do wrong in life and you have to pay the piper, some people repent. They admit they're wrong, they apologize. I'll accept whatever you have, judge. And the judge says, you know what, we're going to live leniency. But judges, Jeff, same thing. People behind the bench, they're human as well. If you thumb your nose during the entire trial and just act the fool all the time, they're going to say, you know what, I could have sent you here, but you know what, brother, sending you all the way down here into this level prison, and good luck with that one. They're the same way as humans, Jeff. If you act the fool, it's going to be appropriate, the punishment that you get. I actually think it's kind of funny because I don't think he's going to be in Gen Pop, but there's no doubt it's just designed to scare the guy, because I don't think he's like, yeah, if we put him in this jail, he's just going to start throwing bombs left and right on people and, getting off in jail. That's not going to be the case. They just want to scare him up. But Jeff, again, he did it to himself. So.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with him is he never really. It took him till the end of his trial to really grow up and say, "Listen, even though I don't want it, because look, many times you don't want to give the judge any sort of respect. You don't really. She's going to be your your basically decision maker for the next years if you don't impress her or do something to, affect your likelihood of going forward. And he did, and he never really wanted to give her any sort of credit. Donnie, a couple inmates that are there that are of note. George Young. You know who George Young is?
Yeah,
Boston
yep,
George Young,
yes,
from the
absolutely.
movie Blow. He's actually,
He's
he was
still
actually
in jail? I thought he
Actually, I'm
got let
sorry. No,
out. Oh,
I'm sorry. He was released. I meant to
yeah.
say that. My fault. I didn't even see that. I just saw serving 19 years. Did say he was released. I'm trying to get an updated list on people that are currently there.
You got the guy
Um,
from Real Housewives of New Jersey, I believe. The one couple
okay,
there, it's Joe, whatever his name is. I think he was at Fort Dix too.
Joe.
Probably still there.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah,
Gorga,
I think
maybe?
I knew.
No, something like
Gorga.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's out by now. But
yeah.
this is generally, a place where you don't necessarily have. It's not a low security, so he's gonna have to. He's gonna do a tough stint there. So we'll see how Martin looks in a couple years. He'll definitely bulk up. I mean, that's good. He's a little guy. Hopefully, he takes his time to get his. Look, he's got money. No one will
Jailhouse
disagree with you.
workout. Yeah.
Gonna have a big fine now, Donnie, though. Gonna have, the ability to get his life in order as far as mentally and hopefully physically. He's a little small, and that's one thing. If you're small, fat, I could probably do well because I would probably lose a ton of weight. Probably be great for me.
Yeah. What else is there to
But
do?
Donnie,
There's nothing else
right?
to do. And you can't. You're not just going to gorge on food all day. You're probably just going to work out and walk the yard and play basketball and I don't know whatever you do in jail.
Yeah, and again, I mean, everyone around you's in like super shape and they're like ripped and stuff. So you can be like, damn, I want to be like that too, I guess. And there's not really else to do, like you said. A lot of letter writing. So make sure you get your pen
Yes.
and pad, Martin.
Oh, I hate to
Let's keep
write.
it moving. Yes, agreed. Let's keep it moving, Donnie. NFL schedule comes out today. I know you're excited about that. We will be on tomorrow. I don't. What time, Donnie? Do you know offhand?
3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Nice Friday afternoon show. Should be about maybe 3 to 4 o'clock. And we'll knock that out, have a lot of fun. As Jeff said, it gets released tonight at 8 o'clock. That gives us some time to digest it tonight, pick out some, top games of the year, who got shafted in scheduling. I'm going to have a Cowboys rant with their Thursday night schedule. So be ready for that one for at least 5 minutes. But we'll have some fun on that. Nice to little break the chain up, talk a little baseball most of the time, but a little NFL action. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern will be a special. Ian Cameron will join us as well. And also Matt Severance, a new guy to the channel, I assume here, so he'll be on as well.
Yeah, we'll be chatting the NFL schedule. I know also next week we'll be having Donnie and I some draft stuff, which I'm very excited about. I really like the draft. We'll be on the night of the draft talking, obviously about the picks that are made. But Donnie, then on Friday night we'll be on for the second round, and we'll just be, I'll
Yeah.
fire off, once the picks come in. All right, this is this guy. This is what it'll be fun. I love the draft. It's fun to, chat about where we think teams are going to go, all that sort of thing. Really enjoyable. Yeah, again, guys, I'm getting some questions here about David Malinsky. A very sad story, honestly. We haven't talked much. I don't generally want to talk about stuff that I'm not sure I know much about. Obviously, Dave on the channel here, people are asking. I'm not sure. My advice would be follow some of the pages on Twitter that are directly connected to it. Obviously, it's been several days here. I don't have anything. I don't. I've never met Dave. I've not talked to him either. I know Teddy Covers is close to him, and I'm sure those guys have some great information on what's going on. I don't know though. Unfortunately, we all hope that Dave is okay, and
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
obviously know more in the next couple of days. But I don't have anything right now, unfortunately. Um, Donnie, let's get into last night's show or not show slate. We start with the NBA. LeBron James, 46 points, played his ass off. When he wasn't in the game, the Pacers, the Cavs just weren't any good. They're not any good without LeBron James. It's really unbelievable how different of a team that they are without LeBron, and for good reason. But again, last night, Pacers just mentally made some mistakes late in the game. I thought the big play in the game, Donnie, was, I don't know if you watched it, but the play where the ball was stolen from Victor Oladipo in the backcourt, great defensive play by J.R. Smith, really kind of changed the game a bit for me. There's always that play. We saw it with the Philadelphia 76ers the other night with Covington dropping the ball to Redick, and it goes under his legs and goes that bounce. Really just changed the game. And again, Oladipo was very good, but no one else was really very good last night for the Indiana Pacers. Though they still only lose by 3, I still think Indiana will win this series. Now you get 2 more back in Indiana. I think they'll take some control of this one. It's just a shame that LeBron James has no one around him to do anything really at all. Kevin Love's injured constantly. They have a guy coaching this team that I have really every belief in my mind he has no business at this level. I still marvel in the fact that he's actually a coach in this league, let alone with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pacers +8. Why you're still laying points with Cleveland? Listen, I'm going to say this again, and it's late. It's April. If you're not doing this by now, you have no hope. And I'm making this clear. You have no hope in sports betting if you're still betting on the Cavs laying points. They're 19-45 this year as a favorite. Stop laying points with the
Yeah, but
Cavs.
Jeff,
I know.
emotion. Cleveland always comes out with emotion.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be taking them most of the time? And especially, Jeff,
But
a lot
listen,
of people have told us in the past, take the Cavaliers in the first half, Jeff, based on emotion.
hmm. Yeah, well, again, that hasn't worked. And second of all, most teams are just looking to win and move on. You protect the
Yes.
lead late. You saw the Cavs. I mean, they were given layups late, up late. They're not a. It's seemingly every time I watch the Cavs, they miss 6 to 8 free throws. They just you shouldn't be betting on the Cavs. You shouldn't.
Jeff. You know what's crazy
Numbers
when
are
you say like LeBron has nothing around him. I mean, he does. I mean, we like to say it because LeBron's so high up. It seems like he doesn't. But can you think of a worse investment of a basketball team than what is put together there with Cleveland at this point, Jeff?
no.
I think it's the highest payroll in the NBA. I mean, yes, you have LeBron James, the single best athlete on the planet, playing for your team, dropping 46 points on a night where your team scores 100 total. You would think all that high-powered money out there, Jeff, LeBron would be able to take like a breathe, like, yo, I need 5-6 minutes off in this game, and you would hold or extend the lead because you have $20 million guys playing right behind LeBron James. You're right. It's not the fact. And if I'm Dan Gilbert, which gets back to the point, Jeff, of the offseason, you're going to say to yourself, like, okay, payroll's 150 million now. Next year it's 300 million with all the penalties if we bring everybody back. Is that a good investment? Nope, it's not.
Yeah, it's just it further shows that LeBron James will not be there going forward. I mean, they just haven't really ever. I mean, look at all the teams he's had. I mean, they've never really had, you know, in Cleveland particularly, they've never given him really anything. It's just been, you know, let's put the worst team around him and just try to hope that he can get us there. And he's gotten them there. He's done his job. They just haven't, as a group, done theirs. I mean, the rest of the team stinks. I mean, you know, Jared Smith at times is good or whatever. Tristan Thompson doesn't even play anymore. It seems like Kevin Love's injured every game. Nance, those guys. I mean, there's just no cohesion with this team. I mean, there just isn't. And this is the problem you have when you decide that you want to, throw guys out and bring guys in the middle of the season. There's just not. You look at it like a college team, Donnie. At least they have a whole year. I mean, these team had a couple months to get together. They've never really. They've all just kind of do their own thing. And you saw that last night. 46 points out of 100. And that's almost 50% of the points he had on his own, and they still almost lost. You saw it a lot, and we've seen it a lot over the years with certain guys. There are certain teams in these playoffs that have just one guy, no one else steps up. Plus, defensively, the Cavs are bad. Javs even it up, Donnie, last night. A big win for them. Very good defensively. They look very good on that level, and that's what they are. They're a very good defensive team. They're one of the great defensive teams we've seen over the last 3 years in the NBA. Quinn Snyder's done a fantastic job there on that defensive end, whether it's Derek Favors or Rudy Gobert or Ingles. Donovan Mitchell's obviously been a great offensive player. Jay Crowder has been a good defender. They just breathe defense. Good point guard and Ricky Rubio. Nice team here. Should be a great series, though. I still think the Thunder will win. But now you head back to Utah, tied up 1-1, Donnie.
No, you're right about that. Just one last point on that LeBron situation. Seahorn brings it up. It's hilarious when LeBron leaves and the franchise is ruined. Look, the one thing you can't say about LeBron, you can hate him and say, I hate when he switches teams. But whatever team he has around him that puts his money to work and lets him know like what he should do with his contracts, isn't it amazing that whenever a team is about to crumble or like fall down in like disrepair, he always has that escape clause because he renegotiates his contract every 1 to 2 years and can bounce. Oh, owner, you don't want to spend money when you told me you're going to spend money? I'm out next year. Oh, look, the team that I put around and made you spend all this money is going to work out. You know what? You keep these guys. I'm bouncing to a better situation. You can't hate the game, Jeff, if the guy's always one step ahead of it. LeBron seems to get out of town the minute before the building comes down and goes into a nice new pad, which he's going to do next year. But you're right. Getting back to the Jazz series, nice win for them. Actually, Jeff, interesting here. Jazz now go home tied 1-1, but they're now, I believe, a 140 or 150 favorite now to win the series over OKC.
A couple good questions here. Jeff Slaughter, what's up? Jeff. Does Oladipo's success and Paul George's numbers down indicate Westbrook is not a good teammate to play with? Donnie, you want to
He's
answer that?
awful.
I know you're a big
Yeah, he's
Westbrook
the
guy.
worst teammate of all time. If Russ was able to do whatever he wanted, he would actually prefer to play the other team 1-on-5, not have anybody else on the court. Russell Westbrook again. I might have to make a T-shirt. Fantastic athlete and NBA player. He will never win anything because he would rather have the triple double than win the basketball game. That's all you need to know.
Put him on the Cavs. He'll do well. He would love that. That would be all he would ever ask for. I don't want LeBron. Sonny Vega, what's up, man? I don't want LeBron to go to Philly. I want to see Sixers win without him. Yeah, well, we want him here in Philadelphia, Vega. We aren't on the same level as you. We'll take him any day of the week, pal. Because as you've seen, without Joel Embiid, the Sixers do not have a scoring threat late in the game. They desperately
No.
need a guy. It's been so many years now, since Allen Iverson, that they had a guy that said, "Give me the ball. I want to make a shot." Iguodala didn't want to do it. Ben Simmons don't want to do it. And they traded away any good player they had that could score, in Lou Williams or, Donnie. You look at this team. If they didn't get rid of all these players and go with the tank method, they'd have a pretty solid team at this point. I mean, Lou
No, they'd be
Williams,
brutal.
Bad
No, they
Young,
would be brutal. Yeah, we would be the AC getting bounced routinely. I'm so happy we didn't go there out because we were on that treadmill, as we like to say, Jeff. You can never once you're in that 10, 9, 8, 7 seeding every single year, you never get better because you're not going to be talented or a city good enough where you say, let me get a superstar to come play with this, lower level team. You're never going to be getting 1, 2, or 3 in the draft. I love the tank. It worked out. If you can't beat them, you got to join them, Jeff. You know what I mean? As they say.
And we will break down NBA and MLB coming up here. Just going through a couple other things here. By the way, I think it's very feasible and possible as well that if I'm the Sixers, I go out and get LeBron, and you also can go out and get Kawhi Leonard by trading Covington and Saric, which I would consider getting them out, bring him in. Obviously makes up for the Covington defensive loss. Plus, very good offensive player. He's one of the best players in the league. You can make that happen. It works out. Trade machine, Donnie. I've done it already. You could feasibly go out and make a
Yes.
ploy both for not only Kawhi Leonard, but get LeBron James as well.
Yes.
So your starting five
Yeah.
would be Joel Embiid, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Markelle Fultz, and Ben Simmons. You Ben at the one, LeBron at the three. I mean, it'd just be sick. No one will beat the Sixers.
Yeah, maybe
Not gonna happen.
JJ Redick likes it here. He comes off the bench. Maybe Bellinelli likes it here. He comes off the bench. Maybe Ilyasova likes it here. Comes off the bench. Good grief.
Donnie, could you imagine that defensive group with Kawhi and Joel Embiid?
Nah, yeah, come on, man.
And better yet, maybe they say, "Well, listen, um, we'll we'll let you keep Covington. Give us Fultz and Saric," which I don't think they want Fultz, but either way,
I think it would
uh,
probably be a deep package, like a Fultz, Saric, and the Sixers one, which looks like it's going to be number 10. Would you do that? Fultz, Saric, a one for Kawhi Leonard? To me, I would do it because it would guarantee you a championship and it would
yes, I
guarantee
would.
you LeBron James.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would. And Jeff Slaughter, you got to be kidding me. Spurs wouldn't take their trust. Oh, so they'd be better off with just Kawhi sitting on the sidelines, not playing at all. Yeah, yeah. Then again, you're going to get one of the better defensive players in Covington in the league. I know you don't think he's a good offensive player, and I don't either. He pretends so much to be a good offensive player, and he's not. But he is an elite defender. You get him, you get Sarge, who would fit in perfectly with the Spurs. That's the kind of guy they would love. And you get rid of Kawhi Leonard. He doesn't want to play in San Antonio. What do
Yeah.
you people not understand? What do you mean you wouldn't take that trash? He doesn't play. You're going to get
Lucky
two
to get
good players
anything for
in
the guy. Yeah.
right,
It
and you
doesn't
get a
seem like
first round
Kawhi
pick for
Leonard.
that.
Doesn't seem like Kawhi Leonard's the type of guy to me, watching his entire career, where he doesn't speak much, and I'm sure he's pretty convicted in his thoughts doing what he's doing now. Doesn't he seem like the guy, Jeff, to just say, you know what? I banked a lot of money. I'll retire, and never be heard from again. I don't care.
And again, Donnie, you can give him a first round pick next year and still keep your 10th pick. And even if they
Yeah.
want the 10th pick, give it to him. But use the 10th pick too. They would get a better deal than that. What do you mean a better deal? They're getting a first round pick. It would work out. They're getting Sarge Covington and a first round pick. No
You're getting
one's lining up right now.
you're getting last year's one. Saric, who's a very good player, who was the 12th overall pick a couple years ago, and the number 10 overall pick. That's pretty fair compensation for a guy that's like, dude, I don't even want to play for your team anymore, man.
And no offense, Slaughter, but they have no leverage. The teams have the leverage. They don't have any leverage here. Sorry. let's get into a little hockey, Donnie. Flyers again doomed and mystified by the fact that they just don't think they need a goalie year after year. They're never going to win anything. I don't claim to know a ton about hockey, but I'll tell you what, I've been bet against the Flyers because they don't belong in the playoffs. They just don't, especially against the Pittsburgh Penguins. They had that nice win in game 2 or whatever it was, game 3, but the hammer's about to drop. And Dottie, they've gotten crushed in these games. I mean, haven't they
Yeah, they're
lost
not as
5-1 twice and then 7-0? I mean, they
like
haven't
five. I
been
think it was 7-0, 7-0, 5. Yeah, but the Flyers aren't good enough. And for all the people, look, we've all. I always like to get that back to this analogy, Jeff. I don't care what level you played your sport at. Hockey in third grade for the Gladiators or whoever. But when you play hockey, when you play sports, right, Jeff? Forget about the angle where I said, well, the Flyers don't even score, so it doesn't even matter what their goalie is. Let me take you through the mind of an athlete here, right? If you come out and you're playing ice hockey and say, you know what, we need this game. Let's go. Let's put a good offensive effort out there. Let's put our best foot forward. Let's be up on our skates. Let's be good in the room. And let's, forecheck, whatever you want to use in some hockey analogy term. And you get out there and your goalie lets up a soft one right off the bat. That deflates the entire locker room. Like, what does it even matter if I go down and score again? Because this idiot in net is going to let up another easy one. How hard we work to get a goal, it deflates the entire room. It's like when you're getting ramped up for a football game, Jeff, and you opening kickoff to Devin Hester, and he bounces one to the house, and you're down 7-0, and the crowd's silent. Like, what the hell did we just watch? How deflating is that? I don't want to hear the angle of, well, the Flyers don't score, so how can they win? If you know your goalie can't stop the puck, what's the point in playing at all?
exactly. And this is a team that has said, we don't want to go out and get a goalie. And you know what? Here's the amazing thing about the Flyers. They had a goalie, a young goalie, Sergei Bobrovsky, and they got rid of him because they thought because Brian Boucher played well in a couple playoff games. Who, by the way, Brian Boucher is no longer even in the league. He's a reporter for Philadelphia, I think, for the Comcast Sportsnet, and Ilya Brizgalov, who they decided that they were going to give 9 million or 9 year, $48 million to, or whatever it was, ridiculous contract. Do you know where Ilya Brizgalov is, Donnie? Now he sits in the stands and watches the game. He still
I
lives in
think
the
he still
area.
lives in New Jersey. Yeah, I think he's.
Yeah,
I
he
think he
was
still
at
lives
the
in New
game the
Jersey in
other
his
night.
house. Yep.
He tweeted out that some
He's
fan
a
said you
wild
should
dude.
get on the ice and play. I mean,
No,
it's
I mean,
amazing.
yeah,
I mean,
he was an awful. I mean, Ed Snyder was on his way out, passed away, but I do give him credit for like, look, we need a goalie. Who's the best guy out there on the market? It was Ilya Brizgalov at the time. They spent a lot of money on the guy, bought him out because he was a total head case freak show and didn't play that well on the ice. But some teams, Jeff, and this is in every sport, just have a blind spot. And for some reason, over the years, it's always been goalie with the Philadelphia Flyers. 1987 rookie, Vezina Trophy winner. I believe won the Conn Smythe as well, even though they lost the actual Stanley Cup to the Oilers in '87 was Ron Hextall. Every year you go into the playoffs, it seems like Roman Czechmanek was a head case. He got blown away in the playoffs. Even you talk about Bobrovsky when he was in the playoffs, Jeff. He was awful and melted down. That's the reason why they got rid of him. We chose John Van Beesbrook, who was like 90 years old, over Curtis Joseph back in the day, where money wasn't even an option in the NFL. And the Flyers routinely, with the New York Rangers, had the top 2 salaries in the league. They always make the wrong choice, and it all gets down to this, Jeff. No matter what goal you have coming through the system, the Flyers can't develop him whatsoever. They have Carter Hart in the minors. Let's wait around another 2 years till Carter Hart gets up here. He's probably going to be a bust too.
exactly. Donnie, let's move on. We're running out of time. We got a lot of things to get to, and only,
Yeah, let's go.
unfortunately, a short amount of time to get to it. We need a 2 hour show. Give us a 2 hour show.
No, we don't.
This
We
this
need
show
a
needs to be
30-minute show. We need
this
30
show
minutes
needs to
same
go
thing.
from this show should go from 9 to 11 every day, in my opinion. And I'm going to make that clear every single day we're on here. It's great interacting with the listeners. Good
No.
comments as always. Always enjoy it. Whatever, Donnie. I'm just saying what I want. I think it would be beneficial to have this show on for 2 hours a day. I don't think 50 minutes is enough. Both LA teams sweep quickly. Kings out. I guess who was the other team? San Jose and Anaheim.
No,
Anaheim and
Anaheim got bounced and the Kings got bounced, Jeff. Both LA teams go 0-8 in the playoffs. Nice to have you around.
both swept. By the way, a
Yeah.
quickly question here. I have something to get off my chest. Is football most corrupt? Yes, of course it is. Many leagues are run by the wrong people. Yes, it's definitely corrupt. Um, the Italian league leads that group. But yes, in Europe, there's certain countries where Donnie, in Serbia, I mean, certain players and certain fans have keys to the stadium. I mean, they run the stadium, they run the day-to-day operations. I mean, yes, very corrupt, but we love it anyway. Let's move on. Baseball. Quickly, last night a recap. Fun night in the baseball. Long game, Donnie. Announcers wanting the game to end down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. A nice
Yeah.
place to be. But this game went way too long. And just when you thought it would be over, Miguel Sano says not so fast. Hits a home run. Goes to the 16th inning. And the Twins finally get the chicken. Um, what a long game, Donnie. Those games are always tough. I mean, you had a couple long games yesterday. That one, you had the Oakland
Yeah.
White Sox game. Um, Two vastly different games, though.
Yeah, no, you're right about it. But it's always kind of like, because if you heard a lot in the offseason, Jeff, like, right, if the extra innings goes too long, because you do burn your entire bullpen, you're using starters for the next day, put the man on second base. Everybody gets angry at that. But Jeff, I'm not gonna lie, like, if you go to X, same way hockey does in football, is there a reason being where you have to go like another full game in extra innings and burn your entire team out at that point? It does make a little bit of sense to maybe shorten it up. I hate ties, which I'm glad, like, back in the day, Jeff, you remember a 5 minute overtime in hockey was 5-on-5 and the game just ended in a tie. I couldn't stand that. So at least they go to a shootout, which is ridiculous, but you do have some finality to it. There's no point for a Major League Baseball game in April, Jeff, to go like 20 innings, especially be out of the country. But I did get a laugh out of Jeff watching in bed when Sano hit that solo home run after it was 1-0 to tie it up. Like, the whole booth for ESPN deflated, like, and anybody would have expected that one right there. It was almost like, instead of being like, hey, we're in Puerto Rico, extra innings, look at this, it's amazing, it's a first. They were actually angry that Sano hit that bomb. It's pretty funny.
I would too. I'd be wanting to get home. Donnie, want to also mention, thanks to the listeners, some good comments here as always, and some nice well wishes along the way as well. We do want to make it clear, and Donnie, I get people all the time that hit me up and say, "Why don't you guys give picks out on the show?" Because this show is mainly to recap what happened. We like to talk about sports. We love
Yeah, it's
giving out
too
picks.
early. Yeah, it's
But
too
again, it's
early.
too early for us to get picks out. It's for many people, it's 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Some people, it's late. It's early. I mean, I'm not. For me, I'm always the kind of person that late in the day I like to put stuff out. We have some things we're working on to come on later in the day, Donnie and I, which are going to be starting May 1st. So, again, for us, we wanted a show to come on. We wanted to come on and be able to talk about sports betting, talk about what's going on in the world, giving our opinion on things, and also breaking games down. We give down certain games, and look, I don't think there's no discussing that. Donnie and I are very good at certain things. Donnie's great at NFL, and we do baseball, him and I. And then I come in with basketball and soccer. I think we the proof is in the pudding that what we do. I don't think we have to continue to prove that we're good at picking games. We know what we're doing here. And again, we just like to come on and chat about sports.
Oh
But
my God.
again,
Hold
it's
on, Jeff.
really
Jeff,
fun.
I have to stop you real quick on this. Guan, I'm sending you a t-shirt right now, and I will make it later today, and you let me know what size you want. That quote right there that you put on the chat box right there, brother, that's the next shirt. That is fantastic and should be copywritten. You're getting a shirt. I'll connect with you after the show to try to get an address. That's going right. See the same romper room, Jeff? I thought this was a sports show. Dude, you are thank you, Guan. That is tremendous, man. Thank you for
That's
that.
I thought you were gonna hit him on the electricity comment. I thought that was a little rude, but
No, that was yeah,
uh,
no, I've been reading all that, but that caught my eye right. That is the dude. Because if you guys watch the show, like, Guan gets it. Guan's been with us since day one. At least once a week, somebody who's never watched the show before will come on and drop that line. That is the next saying. Thank you, my brother, my man.
and
Awesome.
and look, actually, Finico the assailant comes in right away. Some people have shit to do with life, bro. Like, what the fuck? Well, then don't listen, Finico. You want picks? Wait to the end of the show.
Oh,
I don't
Guan,
give out
good
picks for
man.
every game, bruv. Sorry. I don't. It's not how I work, pal. And if you keep doing that, you won't work either. You have to be selective, dude. We're trying to teach you. We're trying to sensei you and say, listen, this is how you do things. I'm a teacher. Donnie's a teacher. We should have fucking licenses. We're teachers. We've been around this. I'm not saying I win every year. I'm not saying I win every day. I'm not saying I win every month, but I think I have the education and knowledge to try to help you. I don't want anything out of you. All I want is for you to listen and listen to what we're saying. I'm a The one thing I have is control, in this business. I can't say I have control in my own life, but in this business, I have control, and Donnie does too. Proof's in the pudding. Just listen. That's all we have. Let's keep it going. We're getting sidetracked here. Donnie, let's just get into the breakdowns for today. We know the Dodgers are waking up, Red Sox are waking up. Let's get into the breakdown.
Yes, we will. But one quick, Teddy B, Donnie, how can we work for SBR and make an appearance on your show, Jeff? I believe you were working on something behind the scenes to try to make some of that happen. Is this still the case, or do we get cut off from all activities behind the scenes?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard from the brass in weeks. I don't know. I think at some point we're going to try to work on something for sure. I'm not totally up on that, but I'm trying to get something together for all you people that say, "Well, Big Man doesn't care about the listeners. We don't like Big Man. He's an abrasive dickhead." I'm actually working on something to get anyone on the show that wants to say that they're a good handicapper. I'd love to talk to you. I wanted to do some sort of American Idol type of thing where listeners come on and they debate each other and we vote on if they're good or not and that kind of stuff. I'm late about this, but Big Man, how funny is it? The comment was saying you wanted to come into your house if you didn't call the cops on you, he wouldn't let you in. Yeah, it's very odd, and I'm sure he scammed someone else. Big Man, you need a blunt of OG Kush. This is how I am. I don't smoke. Sorry. Come to Philly. We'll talk to you. Listen, another thing that I have annoyances with. This is how I am, Donnie. You know, this is how I am. Deal with it.
No,
Donnie,
it's funny you say that too, Jeff. Because coming in, yeah, real quick, we'll skip that because we want to get to the off-topic stuff. But you would think that people would come in here like, dude, I would love to hang out with Jeff, smoke with him and drink with him. And he's the complete opposite. It's pretty funny, though.
No,
Funny.
and I'm going to tell you all right now, and this is the God's honest truth. I do not drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything like that. I partied enough. I'm 28 years old, about to be 29. I DJed when I was a kid. I did all sorts of fun stuff. Then CSAT every week and a great life. I don't do any of that anymore. Okay. I don't, I might go to a club once in a while, but if I'm in Vegas for the IPC, I'm not going out and like drinking with anyone. I'm making that clear. And don't get mad when I don't. I'll gladly hang out with you. I have a broad there with me. She's coming with me from the city. We're going to have fun. Donnie's got, people coming with him. It's going to be fun. I'm excited about it.
Cocktail. We'll have cocktails and cigars. I'm ready. I'll be there in person. You can come up and say hello. We'll shoot it out. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll have a good time. No doubt.
We eat a nice steak, and again, for all you people that have a problem with the Big Man on campus, come on out and say hello. All you tough talkers, come out and say hello to me. But you know what? Most of you will walk up to me and say, "Oh, hi, I'm this person," and try to shake my hand. Get the fuck out of here. You want to talk tough on the internet? I'm not going to forget about that, by the way. I'll go to a strip club. I would do that. Sure. Let's do that.
Funny.
Let's hit Sapphires. I'm in. Let's get into the breakdowns, Donnie. We only have
real quick.
3
Let's
minutes.
Slide through. I'll get an update on how much time we have in just a few minutes here. But why don't we slide it down to MLB and NBA action tonight, Jeff? We'll go over a couple games real quick. We'll merge these together. Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates today, Jeff. Tyone versus Arrieta on paper. Looks like a pretty nice showing here, Jeff. 55% of those money line tickets early in the day lining up on the road team, the Pittsburgh Pirates, with Jameson Tyone. Opened up at -110. So basically a pick 'em either side and staying at that. Right now, Chris -112. Bet online -107, -103 split. So it's some nice activity today, Jeff. Tyone, Arrieta, quick thoughts.
Yeah, this is a shame. I wish the total, I could have got it at 7.5, and I should have moved on it. I think this game will be an under game. Philly's back at home. Weather's still a problem. It's still very cool around here. It's in the 40s. It'll be in the 40s at game time, probably maybe even lower at that point. Tyone has been absolutely magnificent. Arrieta has been very good as well. Two offenses that, look, Philly struggle at times. Maybe a first 5 under might be the thing here. Neutralize both these pitchers. You kind of like that Tampa Bay Texas game yesterday. I thought there were 2 good pitchers that worked. Maybe a first 5 under here is what I'm looking at.
Gotcha. Looks like it's moved down there, Jeff. Braves and the Mets. And I was waiting all today for the odds board to get up. Matt Harvey. Looks like Sims is going to be the pitcher today. For Atlanta, 54% of those tickets on the New York Mets opened up, Jeff. Again, here's one of those weird lines again that we like to point out, and it happens quite a bit. It seems like with the Mets, you sort of scratch your head a little bit. Mets open up as a minus 111, so a small favorite with Sims on the mound for the Braves. And also keep in mind last night, if you didn't watch the Phillies-Braves game, Jeff, Freddie Freeman left, and they're contemplating. I didn't see any updates on Twitter in the last half hour, but maybe some x-rays on his wrist to see if he's okay. That same wrist that he fractured last year. So it's probably a good thought to say Freeman won't even play either way tonight in this game. You're getting a light price on the Mets, Jeff. Does that raise a little flag for you right there?
Yeah, I don't understand this number. I mean, I thought, and Blackjack Fletcher told me that he thought Lucas Sims would pitch, and I kind of thought he was right. But again, it's not Luke Sims, it's Matt Whistler, who last year, Matt Whistler, I bet against plenty. I don't understand this number at all. Freeman is about the only guy you worry about in that lineup. Yeah, look, I'll take the poison here with the Mets. I mean, I like Matt Harvey. I've mentioned that before. He has pretty good numbers career against the Atlanta Bravos. Look, it might be a square play. Sometimes you have to do that though in this game of baseball. I'll take a shot with the uh, the Mets in this spot. Give me them all day.
All right, last up in baseball, Jeff. Boston and the Angels. Rodriguez versus Tropiano. 66% are going to back Boston. Jeff was able to come up with a winner yesterday on the round table. First 5 innings, Boston plus 105. Came through fairly easily with a grand slam in the third. I also actually like the under for that game as well, which got tipped off in the 9th inning. But, the one that mattered the most got the job done. It was first 5 with the Boston Red Sox. Coming back tonight, Jeff, roughly a pick 'em, opening up, still sitting at a pick 'em. Over, under across the board at 8.5 in this one. Boston red hot right now. See if the Angels can bounce back tonight. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is another line I don't understand really. Look, I know the Angels have played well, but I want to shout out to our friend this thing we do. He said exactly what I was thinking last night. It's interesting to see what happens when the Angels aren't playing Oakland and the White Sox, or whoever they played early on. Now you're playing a real team and you're getting your ass kicked. Boston is a real team. They've won 15 out of 17 to start the season. I don't trust Nick Tropiano. I don't believe in him after one good start against the Royals, one of the worst teams in the league. Big start here against the hard-hitting Red Sox. Eduardo Rodriguez, better pitcher, had a good start last time against the O's, only giving up a run over, I think, 6 or 7 innings. I'm all in on the Red Sox. They might be two square plays, Red Sox and Mets, but I'll take a shot with both. I just, when I don't understand the line much, I'll take a shot with it. I mean, two pretty good hot teams right now. I'm on board, particularly with the Red Sox.
Jeff, shifting over to the NBA, close to our hearts tonight down in South Beach. Miami Heat, Philadelphia 76ers. Line opened up originally on the opening line. Pinnacle -1 and Chris -1.5 has swung to the Sixers, Jeff, despite not knowing definitely what the status of Joel Embiid is at this point. -2 across the board. Over under opened up at 216.5. 217s popping up in most places, but that hasn't moved that much, Jeff. Sixers, I think the Sixers are the better team than the Heat. And I like the fact that, like I said, game 2, I thought the Heat had a great game plan to muck it up there, play tough, not give any open looks, make runouts on the shooters, grab any chance you get since the refs wouldn't call it. It was a great game plan. Let's see how that works tonight. And also just waiting to see when Joel Embiid is getting back, Jeff. Do you recommend, if you like the Sixers now, I don't know if you recommend taking them. Do you sit it out? Do you wait till you see Embiid? Because I do assume that if Embiid's coming back, yes or no, it will affect that line, at least maybe a half point either direction.
Yeah, I actually took this last night. I bet it on I bet it last night at 1 for the Sixers. Look, Donnie, throughout the NFL season, I had pretty good injury connections in this city. From what I've heard, and this is a direct connection, I've heard Joel Embiid's going to play tonight. I think it's all masquerading that he's not going to play. There's nothing keeping him out at this point. I mean, he's got a mask. I mean, there's nothing really to worry about. I've heard he's going to play. Again, you never know at the end of the day, but I've heard he's going to play. Again, that's just the connection that I have. The connection could be way off. I believe he'll play. I think the line's moving in the way. The line was moving overnight, Donnie, and even late last night, which means to me that I don't know if this is the public betting the Sixers. Again, early, I don't think the public betting the Sixers. I think at that time it was Sharps betting the Sixers. I think they know something here. I think even without Joel Embiid, I still think they have a pretty good chance to beat the Miami Heat. I think they're a better team overall. I think Dwayne Wade obviously had a huge game. Can he continue to do that this game? I just don't think so. The Sixers aren't going to shoot as poorly as they did there. I already bet it at 1, at 2. You're starting to get it up a little higher, but if Embiid plays, I have no problem laying 2. The question is, do you think he's going to play? I think he is, from what I've heard. So for me, Sixers tonight, I already played at minus.
There you go. All right, last one on the card we'll talk about real quick here, Jeff. I don't want to go over Golden State Warriors, San Antonio. It doesn't seem to be too compelling at this point. I understand that Pop's wife did die. That is a shame on that end of it, and see how he gets back up or get his team, or if they get a little bit of bounce for that. But I did want to talk a little Portland Trailblazers versus the New Orleans Pelicans at this point. Down 0-2, heading to the away arena. You seem a little bit crushed when you leave in Portland, because you had to get at least one of those games, if not get both of them. And now you have none of them going into the opposing city here. It's going to be hard for Portland to go down to New Orleans and win both of those games. So I would be very surprised, Jeff, if somehow the Portland Trailblazers come back and win this series. Your thoughts on this game? Opening line at about 3, now sitting at 4 at Chris. So line moving in the right direction if you're looking at the Pelicans here. Blazers shut it down, or are they going to put up a fight tonight?
You have to think that this clearly is a must win. I mean, you have to try to find a way to get the job done here. But they don't offer many reasons to think the Blazers that they will. They've struggled all year with Anthony Davis. I don't really see a light at the end of the tunnel there. Drew Holiday's been magnificent. Mirotic has been a great addition for this team. It really puts the Pelicans in a great situation. Back at home, will Nurkic play? I guess he's probable here, but he did have a bit of a leg injury. That doesn't help. I mean, any help you could have on Davis now you might not have, or you have him hobbled. I often said, though, if you're getting points in this series, I'm looking to take the team getting points. If I could get 5 with the Portland Blazers, I would probably grab them. I just, this series has been close for the most part. I don't think any game over the last 2 or 3 years has been decided by more than 10 points. Portland obviously has a ton to play for. They're still a good defensive team for the most part. Um, it's a real tough one. I'm gonna have to say, if I get Portland at 5, I'd be interested. If I don't, I'm not interested. I'll kind of just watch from the sidelines. I think the Pelicans could sweep them, though. It's very possible. Donnie, as always, great show. I don't ever want it to end, particularly this one. I had a real great time with it, breaking these games down. Always fun talking about all sorts of different stuff. We weren't able to get to our off topic, but it's something that we can continue to talk about.
Yeah,
And Donnie, I will make it clear. I think tomorrow will be good, because I did see that these 2 individuals were interviewed this morning by Good Morning America or wherever.
Yes,
So
I saw.
basically, the Starbucks situation, which we haven't gotten a chance to talk about. I wanted to have some things come out before we get
We'll
into
do
it.
it tomorrow.
But I think
Yeah,
Donnie and
we'll hit
I,
it tomorrow.
I think
Yeah.
I think Donnie and I can offer a decent glimpse into this. I've lived in Philadelphia for years. Donnie had a restaurant. We're familiar with this city.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about this tomorrow. And I think you'll be quite surprised with my opinion on this. Other than that, Donnie, that's that. Thanks to Johan for giving us a couple extra minutes. Thanks
Great
to
show.
everyone for tuning in. Great show. A lot of great listeners here today. We look forward to doing it again tomorrow. Join us at 10 o'clock a.m. Friday morning. Real quick, one other thing. Today at 4 o'clock, I'm happy to announce, if you're interested, we will be talking boxing. Andreas Hale and I, 4 o'clock today, we'll be talking about Adrian Broner, Jesse Vargas. We'll talk about Jermell Charlo. We'll talk about Gervonta Davis. All big fights this weekend. Great card at the Barclays. Really looking forward to chatting about that. Very bettable fight with Vargas and Broner. Donna, we got rappers getting involved. They're betting on Vargas. A fascinating situation. So we'll talk about that at 4 o'clock. Join us for that. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Bye-bye.
Peace.